Hello, good morning. A very, very good morning. Thank you for joining in on time. Let's be seated here for conditioning. Sitting cross-legged, that's comfortable to you. Spine straight and tall. Relax the shoulders, rest the tension near the neck and the shoulders here. Sitting straight and tall, hands as per your comfort, chin parallel to the ground. Close your eyes. Relax any tension in between the eyebrows or the facial muscles. Relax the neck, the fingertips. Dropping everything down to gravity, surrendering completely here as you are seated. Grounding yourself. Focus on your breath as you inhale and exhale. Today, as you breathe in and out, focus on your chest and your abdomen and merely be an observer of the movement of the chest and the abdomen. There's no need to take any deep breath or shallow breath. Just be an observer of however your breath is right now. Focusing on the front part of the body, the chest and the abdomen. The deep breath in and exhale. Please join your hands in prayer position near the chest, completely conscious of the arms, how they bend from the elbows, wrist, fingers, palms, being present in this moment. We will be chanting Om once, followed by Gayatri Mantra. Kindly take a deep breath in. Om. Chanting the Gayatri Mantra now. Om. Swaha. Tatsavitur-Renyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kindly rub the palms here, cup your eyes, blink your eyes a couple of times, and gently take the hands away. A very, very good morning and welcome for today's session. Today is the last session for the month of February. Oh, am I audible? Okay. I thought Caroline, we walked towards the screen. I'm like, again, it's not working today. Okay. So we'll be doing few warm up and we will be learning Chandra Namaskar today. And after that, we will chitter chatter today. Okay. So no or not much doing today. Okay. Starting with the warm up, it was going to be a very light session. Okay. Start sitting down, rolling the shoulders back and starting with the head here, inhaling, looking up towards the ceiling. And exhaling, tucking the chin into the chest here. Inhaling up, exhaling down. 3, inhale and exhale. 4, inhale and exhale. 5, inhale and exhale. 6, inhale and exhale. 7, inhale, exhale. 8, inhale and exhale. 9, inhale and exhale. Last count, 10. Please inhale and exhale. Bring the head to the center here. We're going to bend the head sideways today, first bending, okay? So be, be attentive to the instructions. I don't know why I'm like bending the head towards the right, the ears touching towards the shoulder here, using your hands to push the head down towards the shoulder, holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7, feeling the stretch at the sides of the neck, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please inhale to the center, bending the head to the other side with the help of your hands, pressing the head sideways so that you feel the stretch at the sides of your neck and slightly on the shoulders here, holding for 8, 7, breathe in and out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Please bring the head to the center here, pointing the nose towards the armpit here, the right armpit, bending the head forward, feeling a stretch at the back of the neck and slightly near the shoulders and shoulder blades. Holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, center, going to the left here, doing the same. Holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming to the center here, neck rotations. Let's begin. 1, 2, inhaling behind the shoulders. Exhaling, chin tucking into the chest. 3, 4, and 5. Reverse. 5, 4. If your shoulders are getting tense, remember to drop the shoulders down, relax the shoulders completely. 3, 2, and 1. and we bring the head to the center here. Shoulder rotations, fingertips on the shoulders, elbows meeting in the front, and big rotations for the shoulder here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Going reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What we're going to do next is warming up the legs. We're going to extend the leg in the front. Okay. And how it's going to go is you're going to inhale up, exhale, lean forward, and then switch. Inhale up, exhale, lean forward, hinging from the hips here. Knees are going to be straight. So we're going to do 10 counts of this, 10 from the right and 10 from the left here. Bending the right knee first, starting with the left knee. Inhale up, exhale, inhale up and switch. 2, inhale up, switch. Inhale up, exhale down, returning here and switch. 3, 4, 5, 6. You're arching from the back, hinge from the hips. 7, much better. 8, 9, and last count, 10. And come to the center. Now this time, instead of the knee pointing towards the ceiling, it's going to point to the adjacent wall here, okay? The same thing, you're going to do the movement, forward, back, switch, bend the knee, drop it down, forward, and back, okay? Let's begin again, bending the right knee first, starting with the left leg here. Please inhale, raise the hands up, hinging from the hips, forward, back, switch here, forward, back, 2, forward, back, forward, back. 3, inhaling in the center, exhaling forward, inhaling back. 5, exhaling forward, inhaling back. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whenever you're done, please extend the legs. We are going to do ankle rotations here for both the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Going reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 here. Okay, so we are almost done with the warm up here. Today was a very dynamic warming up. We are going to start with Chandra Namaskar explanation first. Okay, so we start. Let's take the camera behind and completely visible here. Yeah. We start on the right top of the mat. So you're standing on the right side. You first is similarly bringing the hands above the head, pulling the body upwards. You're going to bend towards the left, towards the right, and then come to a goddess pose. Okay, directly coming to a goddess pose here. After this, we go to Trikon Asana, where the right foot goes outside, left foot pointing forward, hands at the sides, looking at the right fingertips. Inhaling, going down. We'll keep the breath out today. We'll just learn the actions, and then maybe some other time we'll incorporate breath here, looking up towards the ceiling. After this, you're going to move the hips, bring the head to the knee here. Going down to Anjaliya Asana, we're going to raise the hands up above the head. Coming down again, going to side lunge, hands at the center, and then we mirror everything on the other side. Okay, so first going to side lunge, then low lunge. Coming to a forward fold. Going for Trikon here. Coming up, goddess. And this time ending on the left side. Okay. Bending towards the right and left. So this is one round. For the second round, you're going to go again towards the right, and that would be in the opposite direction. So when you finish here, that would be counted as one set, one round of Chandra Namaskar. So Chandra Namaskar, on the contrary of Surya Namaskar, the difference is in Surya Namaskar, you bend forward, backward, forward, backward. In Chandra Namaskar, you bend sideways. It's more upon opening the inner thigh region. So in Surya Namaskar, you're working on the back a lot. You're also working on the front portion of the thighs here. In this one, you're going to work on the inner region of the thigh and the hips. Starting at the right edge of the mat here, raise the hands up above the head, bending to the left first, to the right. Step out the left leg here, going directly into goddess pose. Make sure your feet are at 45 degrees at the top corner of the mat here. Coming up, we're going to go to Trikon. Right foot out, left foot pointing forward. We're going to bend towards the right direction here. Bending down, looking at the hand that's above your head. And now, switching. You're going to bring the head towards the knee here as much as you can. Whatever is your capacity, that's fine. But again, not arching the back here. Going down to low lunge. How we go for Ashwa Sanchalan? Yes, but raise the hands above the head. Stretch the body upwards, bend a little backwards if you can. And lean the hands down. Shifting into a side lunge, Skanda Asana here. Hands in. You can place it either on the floor if you don't have good balance right now, or in front of you in Namaste. Taking your time, push through the floor, push through the mat. Walk on the other side. Skanda Asana on the other side. Side low lunge. Switching here into a low lunge. Please turn. Raising the hands up, pulling the spine upwards and backward bend if you can. From here, coming upwards into a forward lunge. Further coming up into a three-cone. Looking at the hand that's above the head. Look at the fingertips that's below, touching the leg or the mat. Come up to the center and switch to goddess pose here. And then walking back, bringing the right leg towards the left. Hands up. Bending towards the right side. The left side. And center, release, bring the hands down. Okay, so it's more of sidewards bending in Chandra Namaskar. Doing this one more time, ending at the right end, starting at the left now, wherever you ended. Inhale, raise the hands up. Bending first towards the right, then towards the left. Step out the right leg here into a goddess pose. Bending, moving towards the left side now. We're going to go to the left and then the right. Okay, going for three-cone. Left feet out, left hand out. Fingertips going down, turning the head towards the ceiling. Now switching, looking down towards the fingertips and forward fold your head, trying to reach towards the mat here. Coming to a low lunge. Hands above the head, bend backward if you can. Hands coming down again, going into side low lunge. Skandasana here. If you can, hands in front of you, or you can also be on the paw of your foot. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the leg here. Chalo, let's go in walking towards the other side. Walk, walk, walk. Hands in front of you or on the floor. Either is fine. Going into a low lunge now. Hands above your head, backward bend. Placing the hands down, standing up and forward fold here. Coming into three-cone from here. Bending down, looking toward the hand that's pointing towards the ceiling. Holding here. Look down towards the fingertips. Please come to the center, raising the hands and sitting here in goddess pose. Palms facing forward. Ending at the right side of the mat, please lift the left leg. Bring it towards the right, hands above your head. Bending to the left side, to the right, center, and relax. Okay, this is one set of Chandra Namaskar. We'll do two more sets here. Okay, not much. Let's begin at the right edge, hands up, bending towards the left, towards the right, coming to goddess. Going up for three-cone. One feet pointing towards the screen, the other one pointing upwards. Your head looking at the right fingertips. Bending down, looking at the hand that's above your head. Looking down again towards the fingertips. And this time, forward fold. Moving to forward lunge. Hands above the head. And Namaste, bend backwards if you can. Down. Going to side low lunge. Toes pointing upwards, Shivani. Yes. Walk to the other side. Moving into a low lunge here. Hands above your head. Bend backwards. Hands down on the mat. Please place both your foot coming down to forward fold. Moving up, turning the feet to trikon. Looking towards the hand that's stretched out towards the ceiling. Coming to the center and sitting here in goddess. Moving the right leg, bringing it towards the left, hands above the head. Bending towards the the right side, towards the mat, then towards away from the mat, to the center, and release. Doing this once more. Inhale, hands up, bending towards the mat, away from the mat, coming to the center and moving into goddess. Starting with trikon from the left side, coming up, extending the arms out, turning the left foot outside, bending downwards, looking up towards the ceiling. Looking down again, and this time forward fold. Moving into a low lunge, hands above the head, backward bend. And going into a side lunge, low side lunge, skandasana. Walking on the other side. Moving into a low lunge. Hands down on the mat again. Forward fold. Coming up for trikon. Looking at the outstretched hands, make sure the shoulders are in a straight line. And coming to the center here to a goddess. Bring the left foot towards the right. Hands above the head. Bending towards the mat. Away from the mat. And release here. Okay. Take a break, get a sip of water if you need to. We are going to do one last set. Okay. Today we are not focusing on too much on the alignments or the breath. We're just getting used to the sequence and we'll go down to the details. So let's start with the last set here. Starting at the right edge, bring the hands above your head. Bending towards the mat, away from the mat. Moving the left leg, coming to goddess. Elbows parallel. Neha ji. Yes. We're switching to trikon. Bending down. Looking at the outstretched hand above the head. Looking down again to the fingertips and coming to a forward fold. Going down to a low lunge. Hands above the head. From here, coming back, placing the palms on the mat and moving to a low lunge. Side lunge here, skandasana. Walking to the other side. Going to a low lunge. Coming to a forward fold. Bringing the body up and getting ready for Trikon. Down, looking at the outstretched hands. Looking down again to the fingertips, raising the hands up and coming to goddess. Bringing the right leg towards the left, hands above the head. Bending towards the mat, away from the mat. Center and release the hands. One last time, raising the hands above the head, bending towards the mat, away from the mat, coming into a goddess. Getting ready for Trikon on the left side. Looking up at the outstretched hand, trying to keep the shoulders and the arm in a straight line here. Going for a forward fold. Low lunge. Coming back, placing the hands on the mat. Dandasana, side lunge. Moving to the right knee. Side lunge here as well. Switching to a low lunge. Placing the hands back on the mat. Coming up. Forward fold. Getting ready for Trikon on the right here. Looking at the outstretched hand. Looking down towards the fingertips again. Bring the hands up at the shoulder level and above here in goddess. Bringing the left leg towards the right, hands above the head. Bending towards the mat, away from the mat, and center. Release the hand. Please come sit down on your mats. If you have any questions, you can ask. If not, we will do some pranayam and then chitter chatter. Discuss also about the 4 types of fears that we may have written down yesterday. Sitting down here. We're going to start with Kapal Bhati. Roll the shoulders back, chin parallel to the ground. And starting here with the first stroke, first set of 50 strokes here. Okay, today we are increasing it to 50. Let's begin. Whenever you feel like inhaling, inhale from both the nostrils as you raise the head. For about a couple of breaths, breathe normally. Inhale and exhale. If your head feels heavy or dizzy, reduce the number of strokes from 50 to 30 that you were comfortable with earlier. If not, if you're okay, let's do another set of 50. Tucking the chin in, holding for as long as you can, pulling the navel into the spine completely. And if you feel like breathing in, just raise the head, come to the center. We are now going to practice Nadi Shodhan, Anulom Vilom, alternate nostril breath with the left hand. We can make the Gyan Mudra. You can keep the eyes closed because now you are an expert in this with the right hand. Pranav Mudra, thumb coming over the right nostril. Please inhale from the left nostril. Exhale from the right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Last time, inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Keeping the eyes closed, bring the hands down again to the knees. We're going to practice Anulom Vilom again, but today we're going to hold it inside in the ratio of 1:1:1. So inhaling in 6 counts, holding for 6 counts, and exhaling in 6 counts. Okay, we'll try and do that for 2 rounds here. Again, coming to Pranav Mudra, inhaling from the left nostrils. Please inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holding in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One last round. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please release the hand. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale as your own comfort at your own pace. Sitting straight and tall, spine straight, shoulders roll back. With a couple of blinks, please open your eyes here. So for the practice of Anulom Vilom, we first start with continuous inhalation and exhalation. Then we start holding it with the ratio of 1:1:1. And as we progress, we can start holding it for 1:2:1. Okay, and then you also inhale, retain, exhale, and retain again. So it keeps on increasing 1:2:1, 1:4:1, how much you can hold the breath here for how long. Okay, so we have reached the second stage, which is inhalation and holding for 1:1:1. Okay. We are now going to do Brahmari Pranayam, and after that we will discuss about the types of fears. Okay, so Brahmari Pranayam, closing the hands, closing the ears with the thumb, index finger over the eyebrows, And the other three fingers placed on the eyelid and on the cheeks here. Inhaling and exhaling from the nostrils with a humming sound. Please inhale. Mm. One more time. Please inhale. Mm. And one last time. Please inhale. Mm. Kindly rub the hands here. Rub your eyes. Blink your eyes a couple of times. And gently take the hands away. So let us dive into after that thing. Let us dive into fears and types of fears. Okay. So I'll just read through my notes because I can't remember so much. Okay. So the four types of fears that we have is one is the fear of failure, where we do not have the courage to try new things because of whatever experience or life that we have had. If you were as a child demotivated, like if you failed and you were, criticized very wrongly, or you were insulted, or you were shot down, then you would always, as an adult, have a fear of failure. What traits you would have in this sense is you would try to be perfectionist. Okay, you would want to be perfect in everything that you're doing. You would not feel satisfied unless and until you're perfect. And a lot of women have to be perfectionists for some reason. I don't know why. We cannot do with okay, we have to be great all the time. Okay. Also, another thing is we sometimes do not have the ability to take risks and get out of our comfort zone. Okay, so we are very comfortable where we are, and we're like, chal raha hai na, theek hai, why to try and experiment something new? What if it fails? What if I come back down to this? It also comes with our how women are programmed to understand time. For us, time is very precious with respect to either your periods or pregnancy, or time to get married, time to finish your education. So for us, men are very chilled about time. Okay, they don't care about time at all, as how finicky women would get. Like I've been telling you so many times, you're not doing this also. Men will be like, what's the big deal? It's going to take 30 seconds. And they were like, if it's only going to take 30 seconds, you might as well just do it, get it done. Okay. So we are very particular about time because that's how we are programmed in nature. We respond to the time of the moon, we respond to the time of the age limit where we can, very healthily become pregnant. So that's why time is so precious for us. Hence, for us, like the fear of failure, whether what if it does not happen, what if it extends here. So, how we can work towards it is one, very consciously try to have a growth mindset. See, for example, if you want to grow, you have to change. You cannot expect a plant to grow and yet be the same. Okay, the leaves might fall off, you might have to go through different seasons, but that is a part of growth. That's what your grace comes with. And even though while we are failing, we understand we are failing, but in that moment it feels like a failure. But if you look at it in a long term, it has made us what we are today. So, one, the fear of failure, that emotion is just temporary. After some time, when you look back, it comes as an experience. So to understand that right now, that fear of failure is just temporary. You have to keep on reminding yourself, because your mind has a tendency of, so as our ancestors, when we used to live in the Stone Age and all, the first thing was to save ourselves. So anything that you do out of the ordinary, your mind is always going to tell you to save yourself. Okay. Getting up in the morning, no, too much work and effort. I want to save myself. I'm just going to be lazy. Okay. Eating healthy. Oh, no, 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 too much. I'm just going to save myself. No, fat is not going away. Okay. No, no, no. Too much stress to get the fat away. So anything that brings too much stress, the first response of the mind is no, I don't want to do it. So if I ask you to do 1,000 jumping jacks, you'll directly say, no, I'm not doing this. But I will tell you, I'll break it down for you. Let's do 10 sets of 100. Okay. You will be, okay, okay, theek hai. It's the same thing. It's how you deliver it. Okay. So it depends. So, in the same way, divide the tasks here. Okay, I am sorry if it might feel come across like a lecture, but if it helps you in any way, because at times, even though I'm giving this lecture right now, at times I have to go and refer to my notes for this. Okay, oh no, 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 it's okay. Sometimes we are in different phases of life, and hearing it from an external source gives the validation, even if you know everything. That means if your friend is asking, you would know how to help her. Okay, you would know what to tell her. But if you're going through the same situation, your friend may have to say the same sentences back to you. So that happens. Okay. So this is this one quote or somewhere I read in a book, that see your failures as a comma and not a full stop. When your breath stops, that's the full stop. Until then, it's all commas, commas, and different exclamation marks coming in between. Okay. That. So that is fear of failure. Second is the fear that we have is fear of abandonment. Okay, we fear that somebody might leave us, and we get anxious that, oh, so this person is not showing me how they were before. Is something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Is he or her trying to walk away and all? So second comes the fear of abandonment. Okay, where we have anxious attachment, and we also have sometimes people pleasing behavior because of this, because we do not want them to go away. Okay, so I'm not saying ke, screw them and let them go away and then we're going to do what we want, but you have to understand that their insecurities comes from their experience. You're not responsible, and you really cannot satisfy everybody out there. So you have to be secure with yourself that even if that person is walking away, it is their loss, not yours, because you are a complete package in yourself. If the other person cannot see it, you cannot help it. Imagine you are selling a product to a customer, and the customer is like, "Ye, humko itna mehanga nahi chahiye. I don't want it so expensive." But he's saying, Baba, look at the value, look at the worth of it. If he doesn't want to buy, doesn't want to buy it. You should not lower your worth for it. There was again another book that I was reading, or I don't know, podcast, where it's like Lamborghini and Ferrari. You and I cannot afford it, okay? But they don't reduce the price because you and I cannot afford it. You better raise your standards to afford it, okay? So be that, be a Lamborghini and a Ferrari. Don't be that street shopping, 100 rupees ka 20 rupees, okay? Don't be that. Like, if you want me, you better raise your standards, okay? So be like, have that kind of mindset in your life that it's okay. If they don't see your worth, you can't do anything about it. They are not exposed to that kind of behavior, and that's fine. Okay. The third one is fear of intimacy in relationships. This comes as avoidant attachment, where we are not so open about sharing what we feel, how we feel, in the fear of that the other person might not understand, one, and second, might take us for a ride after they understand us. Okay, so this comes with a lot of experience when we start building walls around us. So we start having this fear of intimacy and attachment. Also, we kind of walk away from deep conversations because we know there's going to be no solution, there's going to be another tamasha after this one. Okay, so you just try to keep mum. Okay, so first you have to trust yourself and validate yourself that your emotions are valid, that you're not overreacting and just being impulsive like most of the times women are told that they are. Okay, women are not crazy to respond in the first, react in the first one. They respond, they request, they say, then they start yelling, then they start crying, and after that, when things go for a toss, they come into their Devi group and they're like, now you see Ma Kali here. Okay, so whenever somebody tells you you're being impulsive and not, validate yourself that the other person is not understanding, but it is valid from where I am coming from. Don't go to self doubt yourself. Look, oh, am I the one? Am I the one like that? Okay. And remember to open yourself in moderation, or say yourself, regulate yourself in moderation, even though you're running very high on emotions consciously. You know how your mind drifts away, like we have become so mindless these days that we just don't understand how our mind drifts. Okay, I do not know it happens with you, but it happens with me often. I pick up the phone for something else, I start looking at something else, and I'm like, I'm looking at the phone for too long, drop the phone, then remember again, oh, I picked up my phone for something else, pick up the phone again, do this for 3 4 times, and then I'm like, focus, now I'm just going to see what I want to see and come back. Okay, so starting, I think this started, if I look back, from YouTube suggestions. Okay, you start to go for one video, and then you keep on clicking. Oh, this also looks relevant. This also looks relevant. Okay, and this also only happens when you are consuming stupid things. Okay, when you are creating something, when you are doing something, You are very satisfied with the one thing that you're doing. You will never go to, oh, I've made this. Now let me start with the second thing. Let me start with the third thing. So understand this difference to do things in moderation. Even when you are saying things to people, try to say it in moderation because we get overwhelmed. Okay. And it's got to do with the moon, also got to do with the hormones, also, but also got to do with the other person. We cannot change all three of them, but we can change how we respond to the situation. So that's the third one. And the fourth one is the fear of unknown, the fear of being judged by people, the fear of being rejected by people, and the fear of something bad happening. Okay. Something bad is like dominant for women because we have that nurturing and taking care of others. What do you say? Some DNA programmed into us because we are by default caring and nurturing. So something bad is the first thing that comes into the head. If somebody wants to go alone, oh my God, what if something bad happens? And also with respect to how the culture has programmed us for our own safety. If you go out at this time, it's not good enough, something. So these fears of very different things. If I try something new, I'll be judged and all. So some of these fears are interlinked with each other. For example, the fear of failure, the fear of unknown might be together. Okay. So they kind of very lightly overlap each other here. How you can work upon this is one, try to understand that everything is inevitable. If something has to happen, it will happen. To pray or to hope for the courage and the strength to go through it is what you should be having as a mindset. Like it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen, but I might as well be prepared for it if it does. Okay. Try to be flexible. Okay, it's okay if it doesn't happen. I have a plan B, plan C, plan D, and all. And women work like that. Women have this inbuilt. Okay, most of us like, oh, if I don't have this, what will I? How will I cook this? How will this thing happen? How will I manage this? And then you find a way around. Okay, so some of us have that. Second, also look at failures again as opportunities and not threat. So it is very important to understand what things work for us, but it is also important what things do not work for us. For example, when we grow, with age, at the age of 20, if I give you 10 different opportunities, you will be like, you will be wanting to try all 10 of them. Yeah, ye bhi karna, ye bhi karna, wo bhi karna. By the time you reach 25, 28, 30, you're like, I know I don't want to do this five. Okay. I don't want to even engage in these things and it's useless for me. And then you just focus on these five that you have. Then with again age, experience or expertise, then you again have to. But narrowing that, yet opening to other five things that you haven't tried ever. So eliminating what doesn't work, but also keeping yourself open for what things work. Okay. And again, treating failure as a punctuation mark of a comma, hyphen, or whatever, and not as a full stop here. And the last one, very important, is non-personalization. Okay, again, under this fear of the unknown. Do not personalize ki if the person is not talking, did I do something wrong? Reflect into things. And maybe that person is going through a bad day, a bad phase, doesn't want to talk. That's fine. Okay. Sometimes we go through a phase where we don't want to talk to people, where it's annoying, but we have to because we have responsibilities. Okay, they do not, they can share it around, whatever, give it around, and that's completely fine. So whenever somebody says something and the way they're responding, okay, why was I treated so bad or was I spoken so bad at when I didn't do anything? Okay, when I didn't say anything. I mean, and then you kind of, hunt for a fault in yourself. Maybe I did this, maybe I did that. And then you do things to please the other person. Again, that's the fear of abandonment. So that cycle then goes on, the fear cycle from one to the other. We keep on jumping. So understand at times it's got nothing to do with you. It's about what the other person is feeling in that moment, how their perspective or experience has raised their mindset to be. Okay, so these are the four big fears, and I think most of your fears that you might have written down might fall in, one of these categories of the four. Yeah. So there's always way. First is to identify, and then starting to learn to work towards it. Otherwise, it's everybody has fears. Okay, everybody has fear. A small kid might not have such adult fears, but might have the fear of falling down, their friends teasing them, or being scolded at by a parent or any elders. So all of us have fears. But the thing is, understanding that they are only fears and not the end of the world, and then going away across from it in a very strengthening or courageous way. And you and I are all here, so and all of us have aged graciously. All of us have gone through a lot of things, especially women when they transition from Small girls, parents' house, husband's house, then kids' house. They never have a house to themselves. Okay. It's never their house. Okay. So, yep, those were the four fears and a lot of chitter chatter. You can ask me any questions about anything. You can ask me about me also. You can ask me about anything. We're going to take the last 5 minutes to socialize here. You can ask about each other if somebody ever needs each other's help, like a small community, and we're only three of us. So it won't take long. You can, unmute yourself and shoot.
Sweta, why don't you tell us something about yourself, like your journey? How did you start and what inspires you? Because the way you inspire us every day to work out, like I keep telling my husband, I'm so grateful, for you. I think it's your push that has, I can see results in myself, and I'm really grateful to have you. So, what is it that inspires you and, with
Yeah.
that positive attitude, so to say?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I mean, this is the biggest compliment a tutor can ever get. Okay. See, right now, my inspiration is watching you all. Okay. I'm not married, I don't have kids. And so I don't have the responsibility at the moment. But you all having these responsibilities and doing it. And when I see you all putting in efforts, and I'm like, I hope I'm able to do like them when I get married or have kids. So that's my inspiration. Okay. So this is right now my inspiration. My inspirations keep on changing. Okay. So it's not like I have this image in mind and I'm going to idolize. No, they keep on changing. Um, so if I have to tell you about my journey, I've always been into athletics and sports since I was, I don't know, 6 years old, 7 years old, and all that. But you know how the upbringing is sports and like everything is treated as extracurricular and not as mainstream work. So I am an architect by profession. I've done my master's. I am pursuing my PhD in architecture from IIT Roorkee. So I have reached where I could with my stream, and then I'm like, no. I've also taught in an institute, like at the central government institute as an assistant professor on contract basis for a year. I worked in the industry for 3 years. Like I explored in my stream. I'm like, no, no, architecture is a 5 years degree. I was like, okay, 5 years degree, I cannot quit. Now, 5 years is a long because engineering is four, normal bachelor's is three, and then spending your parents' money for 5 years, and then you're like, hey, oh, oh. And I always love to travel and do everything extracurricular. So I'm more of a physical person. I like to be tactile and be physically engaged. That's why I took architecture because I didn't want to do engineering when I'm sitting here on a computer. Then I do MBA and land up in a job. So that I was pretty sure I don't want to do that because I can't sit at one place. Architecture, I get to go on site, meet people and all that. I was like, fine, this is something that what I'm studying I can apply in my life. So that was my architecture thing. I didn't know a about architecture. And if today somebody asks me to counsel somebody for architecture, I would say no, don't do. One, there's no industry. Second, the industry does not pay you well until unless you have a big social network. You have people who will give you projects. Unless your family is into that business, don't get into architecture. It's stupid. And rather become an interior designer because there's no land to make something new. And to get that sort of project is something really large scale. So no architecture. That is my conclusion after reaching to PhD. You can do a research, but you don't practice architecture. So I've always been into sports, but my parents never let me at that time because it was not mainstream. Like now I understand. I used to hate them while growing up. Okay, like loathed them and like because of you. So I used to go to district level. My school also sent me to the Sports Authority of India for training and everything because they saw potential. But when I came to ninth, 10th, parents were like boards. And then it went for a toss. I wanted to get into the army, but my parents were like, okay, no, you're a girl, you cannot. And only girl, how can you go? So that went for a toss. But I'll tell you what, my entire life, it's like it has prepared me for to do this. Okay. So I've done my mountaineering course. So once my parents said, once you start earning, you can do everything that you want to. Unless you're under our roof, you cannot. The first thing I did with my first salary, first 6 months of salary after saying was get a cycle. Okay, get a sports bike. Okay, so that was like I bought it in 2015. It was a Firefox Roadrunner. Okay, so my friends called me crazy because it was 20,000 then. They're like, with this down payment, you could have got a scooty. Who gets a bicycle? Okay, so I always, this was my escape all my life. And now I understand that instead of escaping, why not be there? I mean, why to just, and I have throughout my life, I've been given the opportunity by the universe to learn so many things too. I've also been a trek leader for youth hostel for trekking, and I've taken people. So I've done a lot. I used to love to volunteer also, and I'm a person who leads by the heart, not by the head. Like, I'm thankfully the universe did not put me in situations where I became evil. I mean, I used to call people who use their head too much as evil because they strategize a lot, and my brain does not wrap around that strategization. And I find it very horrible to, use somebody with strategy. Like, that's what people do. When you introduce yourself and when they ask you directly what you do so that they know when they can, I wouldn't say use you, but associate with you at that level. And I never understood this concept until unless I got into IIT Roorkee of how important and how this plays in. So IIT Roorkee taught me both. It threw me down completely my value systems, because as a kid, you're always taught to be honest, to be true. And that is a syllabus, like I've come to this conclusion of a Satyug age. Okay. The syllabus has changed in Kalyug. You need to get a new handbook for Kalyug, which is totally different. So for me, it took me, you know, I had a very bad phase last June, July. Like, I because of my supervisor and how I was not able to. It's not his fault. Now I'm thankful. Like, if I had an okay supervisor, I would not have been here. I would have been quietly doing my PhD. Okay, so I'm really grateful to him. But at that time, I went through a really horrible phase, and I stopped eating, I stopped sleeping. Like, I lost 8 kgs in a month because I wasn't eating and sleeping. I would only sleep 2 hours in a day. And because of the stress, my hands started, shivering because I was starting having nervousness and anxiety so much, my hands started shivering. The doctor said it's too much stress. Don't. I'm like, because all my life I've been a good academic student as well. No faculty member, no employer has ever told me that you are worthless, useless, you're not good enough. But somehow my supervisor did not like me. So for 3.5 years, I went through a really bad phase, and because I led with the heart, I would be like very excited with my ideas and all, and it hurt his ego. It was like, oh, she thinks she's smarter than me. She thinks she can be outspoken. It happens in life sometimes, you go ahead with a discussion to enrich, showing that if you contribute, the entire knowledge can grow, but it's not well taken. So it's very important to read the other person of where what they want from you. Is if they want to nod, you just nod. Okay. And I used to not understand this earlier. I used to think being outspoken takes a lot of courage. People who are quiet are so scared and they can't even talk, and how stupid they are, they don't have the courage. But now that I've grown from here, I realize to keep quiet takes more courage than to speak up. Because when you speak up and say you are out and you're done, you're like, ah, now it's your lookout. But when you keep quiet, it takes a lot of inner work. It takes a lot of patience. कि ठीक है यार, कोई बात नहीं. I see you becoming evil, but that's fine. So after that breakdown, I realized that I cannot survive in this world like that in academics and all. It's not going to work for me. I'm like, I went for a 10-day Vipassana. It's a 10-day mum retreat where you don't talk to anybody, your phones are kept aside and all. And it took me those 10 days of isolation when I was at my lowest. Like, it's like I got a wound and I went for an operation and got treated and I came back. So, I mean, in those 10 days for me, I could even recall things of my childhood that I didn't remember so that I could understand the patterns of how I came to be this. Like, why am I like this? Why my thinking pattern stops here? And, why does it bother me so much? Because things are not happening as per I. When you read philosophical or spiritual things, the question of the I, the moment you remove I, you become calm. Okay, it's just because you do not want things to happen in a particular way, or you imagined something and the other person did not do according to that, or you asked for something. If you have a memory loss tomorrow, it's not, none of this is going to matter. So as long as you're breathing, you might as well just do. And my positivity comes from I love what I'm doing. Absolutely, it's like I'm 33. Okay, so after 33, being able to do what you want was like, up until now, it's like, you want to fly, you have wings, but you're somehow caught back. It's like you know you want to go somewhere, but for whatever reasons you cannot. So now I'm like an experimental bird dancing here and there. So I'm just in my happy phase every day, and I wake up very excited looking for the day ahead, to plan and everything. So all of these things come from my research training, come from my architecture training, where you have to plan, you have to be strategic. I love teaching. So it's like the universe planned this, that I'm going to get you the skill sets like this. I'm going to prepare you like this, because had you known this 10 years ago, you might not have these skill sets. So I feel very blessed, and it's timed perfectly. I mean, it would have been earlier, then I would have to fight with my parents and go against them. And now I'm like, I'm old enough. You tell what you want to tell. Your lookout, not me. Sorry, that was a very, very detailed. Yeah. So that's me.
That's nice. And how
Yeah.
long have you been teaching for?
I've been teaching for now 6 months. I've been practicing yoga for 4 years and being into athletics and sports since I was 5, 6 or something. Yeah. Anything else? That was me, a detailed uh, answer. Yeah, Shivaniji seems fascinated. She's into the camera like this. Yeah. So, what do you all do? If I may ask, I'll just stop the recording here.